All right, so this is how you create questions in the question library as well as create a quiz in eclass. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the Algebra 2 850 or the South Carolina Algebra 2 page. And you're going to go under quizzes. So you're going to go under this more. You're going to go under quizzes. Okay. And so if you're just inputting questions, you can go to your question library. I highly suggest that you do your question library first and then create your quiz because it's just going to make it a little bit easier. So you're going to hit new. Most of our stuff is going to be multiple choice, but there are other options. The county doesn't support true or false, but you can do a select. So that means that there's more than one answer choice that is correct. You can do short answer, long answer, or the rest of those are the matching and ordering. They're great if you can make sure you understand. Otherwise it's a little confusing. So I would just start with the multiple choice part. And so then what you'll do is you'll type your question here and you'll say what color is the grass outside, or whatever your question is. And then you'll list your answers. So pink, green, blue, yellow, and obviously grass is green, so you'll check this box to be the correct answer. That's what these little dots over here are for. Or if you're like, oh, I don't want that option, you can delete that option if you want. This is just a preview of what your question is going to look like to the kids, so that's something to keep in mind. Make sure you always hit randomize answer choices for each student. That way that, we don't have the same question going in for each person. You're going to hit save. And you just created your first question in the question library. Now, if you're going to create a quiz, what you're going to do is hit done editing. Okay. And you'll hit new quiz. And you'll title it, this is a test. This is a example quiz. Okay, that way we don't save it or publish it or anything like that. You're going to go down to add edit questions. And then I'm going to go looking for that question that I just put in. So I'm going to hit import, browse question library. And then I'm going to scroll down. Normally it's the last one on the page, or you could type right here. You could say, what color is the grass outside? Please make sure as you're putting them in, you title what AKS they correspond to. This will make it easier later on, like next year. If we create a new quiz and we want to pull questions that have a certain AKS on them. So just make sure you put whatever AKS number it is. You're going to click the little checkbox and you're going to hit add. And that just imported it into your test. Now you're going to hit done editing test question. Okay. Now you can put a description like, hey kids, you've got 60 minutes for each section, or whatever you want to put right here. This is just to tell them a little about the quiz, but that being said, I've never used it, I don't think. I always want to check this disable right click, so that way they don't copy and paste it. Let's see. Yeah. And then you can do a notification email. So every time somebody takes the test, you can notify yourself, but obviously we don't want to do that on this page. Restrictions. So this is where you have a due date. I always set a due date for these kind of things just so kids get it done early on. So as a due date, you'll click this little box. You'll change it to whatever date you want. If you want them to have a password, so I think AKS 31 and 34, I didn't want them all to have access to it, so I gave them a password, and they had to come in to get the password. So you can do that if you want. Don't change this IP range. If we were at school, you would use this because it restricts it to the building, but that being said, don't use this for right now. You can change the time limit on here. So it can be 60 minutes or it can be 2 hours, which is what this one is. You can select certain students. That was what that bottom piece was. You can select certain students to take the test or quiz, but you have to go through each student. So it allows all students to be able to access this. Under assessment, if you want the kids to be able to see their grade, you'll click this box. I never put it on there just because kids like to tell other people, hey, I got a 40, and this is what I put. If you're letting them take more than once, you can change this to highest attempt, or I always change it to first attempt because I want to see what their first attempt is. We don't do any objectives in here. We don't need to change the submission view, and we don't really need to change the report setup. So when you're done with all of this, you're going to hit save and close. And so now you've got this lovely quiz right here. Now, it is invisible right now. It's hidden. So if I wanted to make it visible, I'd click it right here. But obviously, I don't want to do that because then the kids would see it. But after you do that, you're going to have to copy it to your personal eclass page. So the first thing you want to do is go to your eclass page. And then you'll follow the steps for that video on how to copy it, where you click the little gear, you'll hit import, and you'll follow those directions there. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.